President Biden and Kamala Harris ratcheting up the racial rhetoric at a Juneteenth celebration at the White House.
The past few years remind us our freedoms have been put at risk by racism that's still too powerful a force to heal the wounds of division, so racism no longer tears us apart. We have to choose to be believers in a dream, doers of the world.
Let us look at the sacred freedom to vote, the freedom that generations fought, bled, and died to secure, the freedom that is under assault in states across our nation.
It seems like Joe Biden isn't even trying anymore at the whole unity thing, but his White House thinks it's a priority.
He's been very clear when he ran in 2020. It was about bringing the nation together, right? The soul of the country. That's something that's still a priority for this president. He's had multiple remarks on that particular issue.
Greg, happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, why aren't we taking that off?
I have it off.
It seems like as Americans, if we don't take this seriously, it's racist.
Yeah.
So I'll be taking that entire week off. What a loser they are, that party is. A bunch of losers because they've been at this for 50 years and they're just saying it's not working. Like the more they work against racism, oddly, the worse it gets. It's funny that the rhetoric used by Democrats becomes more intense, more extreme, the better race relations are. And that's because there's a fear that removing the division will do two things. One, you'll have no need for consultants and activists and race hustlers and racialist authors. You need a war. No one's going to buy your bullets. And if we stop fighting amongst ourselves, then we kind of figure out, wow, this really isn't about race. It's more about, as you say, the subway versus the Uber class. And you focus on the elites who are trying to keep us apart. The Dems need to keep these divisions fresh or else they lose their power. And that's what this is about. It would be great to unite about and agree on the continued success of the melting pot. But they are saying nothing is melting. And you have to stress the separation. So that's why you're seeing more segregation at colleges because of this tortured mentality.
Do you think the race card is working for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
Well, it didn't work in Georgia. If you look at Governor Kemp's reelection, right? Remember, that was where the Democrats, including Stacey Abrams and Biden himself, chased the Major League Baseball game out of the state. That infuriated a lot of people there. And there was all these lies about Jim Crow 2.0. Remember that? Then you actually fact check and actually, that's not what that says. DeSantis won re-election by 61% of the vote, and has increased with African Americans and Hispanics quite a bit. So no, I don't think it's working, at least in the states where they want to be competitive. And I think that if you look at the most recent AP poll, showed Biden approval among black voters down to 58%. That was in May. It was at 90% earlier in the presidency.
Wow.
So what happened? I would say inflation, crime, immigration, and education, especially on school choice, COVID policies, and just feeling like kids are not being taken. They say that the government wants to basically take care of your children, whereas parents are saying, no, we want to take care of our kids. And besides, in a lot of the schools in black-dominated districts, the kids can't read. And they can't write. So the parents are rising up and want something different.
You're the pollster at the table, or at least you say you're the pollster. Do you think independent white voters, when they hear the Democratic president call them racist and call the country racist, do you think that turns them off?
I don't think that that's what he's doing. I think that acknowledging that there still exists systemic racism and challenges for black and brown people in this country doesn't make it that white people are bad. It's just we're a work in progress and there's still more work to be done. And that's what they've been trying to emphasize. Their agenda for Black America has had a lot of wins. We have right now the lowest black unemployment, lower than the levels when Trump was there. I know that's what you're about to come back with. The highest level of black entrepreneurship in 2016. It didn't even work. You're still talking somehow. Highest level of black entrepreneurship in 26 years. You have the investments in HBCUs, $100 billion for black small businesses.
Why are the numbers down then?
Well, the approval versus the intent to support is also very different because they're not being given another viable option. And Donald Trump did perform better with black voters than any other Republican. It looks like he's on his way to be the nominee. We'll see when his indictment trial comes and all of that. But there's something really crucial that Republicans keep doing that is a major turnoff to the Black community, and that's insulting Kamala Harris. So you don't take someone who's so meaningful to that community and say that she's a diversity hire.
Wait.
If she hadn't.
Can I speak for the Black community for a
Please
second?
do.
No, you really. Well,
Allow me the floor.
He's 1%.
I am 0.1%.
1%.
No one's giving it to you.
We have Johnny go out and speak to the Black community 2 times a week, and they do not support Kamala Harris.
No.
Okay.
But I take your point.
Speaking very broadly there.
If you have one of the highest achieving Black women in the country who's now made it to the vice presidency, and Republicans and people who talk about her on air say she's a diversity hire, she only got where she was going because she slept with Willie Brown, that she's embarrassing.
She did?
I didn't know
She
that.
slept with Willie
You
Brown?
just said that.
Is that not true?
Is that? I didn't know that.
They have not said that.
Is that how she got ahead
No,
in
that's
politics?
not how she got.
No, of course not.
I love it when people accuse us of spreading rumors by actually citing rumors.
Wait, so does this work with the left too, though? Like, do they get upset when, Tim Scott runs for president and the women of The View attack him horribly, or Clarence Thomas is called a traitor to his race because he happens to be one of the most successful Black men in American history, and yet he is not a Democrat? I mean, I don't know if I necessarily buy that argument that if you don't like Kamala Harris, who's been widely criticized by Black media, by the way, like Charlemagne the God, for example, podcaster, not impressed with her record on criminal justice reform and joking about smoking weed when she put lots of Black men in jail for the very same thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of issues within her record as the Attorney General of California with that community and what she's decided to do now.
But she was rallied around.
But I would say, in terms of the strategy by the Biden campaign and the vice president to use Juneteenth as not a moment where they can say, wow, we had this amazing reconciliation in the country. We've moved forward together. How can we capitalize on all of the gains we've had?
Overwhelmingly in Congress.
Exactly. And yet they use it as a way to divide people, to act like we haven't gone forward in this country. And the final thing is that she keeps talking about in her speech that freedom is under assault and that it's for racial purposes in states across the country. She's talking about voter integrity laws. And as you mentioned, Dana, in Georgia, they passed one and they claimed that it would disenfranchise Black voters. Well, Black turnout went through the roof. It didn't disenfranchise anybody, and it took away Stacey Abrams' top campaign talking point because it didn't turn out the way that she claimed it did. So they could use it as a way to move the ball forward for unity, but instead they have to keep taking people back.
Well, I, for one, I'm just still stunned about this Willie Brown situation. I'm going to have to research this. I might even have to do it on 7 o'clock. Might have
Get
to.
Jessica on.
You know
I'm
what?
busy this evening.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.